I've been alone with you.
How does one embark on a journey of transformation?
What's inherent in our journey to have transformation, and our mind and our life is constantly remodeling our perceptions and actions to adapt and change. Whenever we get rigid about our perceptions or actions and get habitual instead of adaptive, then what happens is we end up having stress, because stress is the inability to adapt to change. And so our job is to constantly do that. So that's why it's wise to keep a balanced perspective. Because whenever we get infatuated with something, we fear its loss. When we get resentful to something, we fear its gain. When we have a balanced perspective, it can come and go. And we're now allowing ourselves the flow. So our ability to see both sides of an event is allowing us to be most adaptive, less stressed, and most inspired.
DeMartini is a chiropractic doctor, but in his work, he draws on everything from philosophy to theology to help people overcome their obstacles.
How do you get inspired if you're feeling down and depressed?
I always say that depression is a comparison of your current reality to a fantasy and delusion about how you expect it to be. There is a magnificence right now in everyone's life, but when they compare it to a fantasy about how it's supposed to be and not appreciate the way it is, they're going to be depressed. And 9 times out of 10, they've had an expectation on other people to be somebody that's supposed to live in their values. And they projected their values onto others, and their people are supposed to live according to what they project, instead of honoring them for who they are and letting them live in their own values. Or they're expecting themselves to live outside their own values and live in a fantasy about who they are instead of being real about who they are. And these unrealistic expectations lead to the ABCs of negativity, which is anger and aggression, blame and betrayal, criticism and challenge, which lead to eventually a depression. So a lot of times we've been blaming biochemical imbalances and something about the past and our genes. We like to dissociate and blame. But I find that that's not the most powerful way of transforming a depression into inspiration. The most powerful way is setting real goals that align with your real values and have a real understanding of how human behavior works, and all of a sudden start chipping away at the illusions and keep working on the truth about your own magnificence.
Since I've